Hey guys, welcome to the 14th episode of Q&A. We are having a very important topic covered in today's episode from the series of Tickle in VLSI. Viewer Krishna Kittu has asked in the 12th episode of Q&A as a continuation of Tickle in VLSI, is it sufficient to learn Tickle till the file IO or even creating and reusing packages, namespace and libraries are also needed? So, in today's episode, we will do comparative study of source versus package method of code reuse in Tickle. Stay tuned till the end of this episode to understand the difference.
Hey guys, welcome back. In today's episode, we will be discussing about what is source command in Tickle. Tickle block that to be sourced will write a program. We will be using that block in another Tickle code by sourcing it. What is a package in Tickle? We'll write a code where we'll define and write a package. Then we will build the package, which we also can call the packaging of a package. We will cross-examine the auto-generated file as a build procedure. Generally, the name is packageindex.tickle. Finally, we will use the package, that is the code reuse, and we will analyze its output. So that's the menu for today. So without any further delay, let's begin. Viewer's question. So today we are dealing with Krishna Kittu's question, and he asked this question in the 12th episode of Q&A where I have discussed what is namespace. So namespace has a very close relation with the package in Tickle. So today we will encounter that thing. So let's begin. First, we'll talk about the source command and then we'll move to package, and this is how we will see the difference and we'll come to the point where we can see the benefits of using the package over the source command. Obviously, for that also you have to get familiarized what is the source command. Now, what is a source command in Tickle? The syntax is source then file name. File name means not only the name, it includes the full path of that particular file. If the file is in subdirectory of the current directory, then a related path will also be sufficient. This particular syntax reads the Tickle script contained in the file name and executes it. So one more thing I would like to tell you that this particular source command is widely used in the VLSI tools where they have a shell that interprets the Tickle code as well as their own APIs. So sometimes you have to write a code using the APIs of that particular VLSI EDA tool, and you have written a program where you will fetch 3-4 different entities from the design, and all those things you will be writing into a physical file in a disk. Say suppose you have written this in a particular Tickle file, then how you use that in the Tickle shell of that particular EDA tool. So that time you have to use the source file name, this particular command. So this source command is not completely irrelevant. However, when we compare the source command and the package command as a point from the Tickle itself, we'll see the difference. So let's move on. This allows a single bigger Tickle script broken into multiple smaller scripts, each part corresponding to a specific functionality. Now when we are talking about this point, we are thinking in terms of Tickle scripting only. Say we have written a file, first we have parsed a file, then we have done some processing on the result, then we have dumped an output file using the process result. So there are 3 sections. So you can split the 3 sections in 3 different files of Tickle script, and then in a further program as needed you can source them at 3 different points. So this way a bigger Tickle script can be broken and sourced into the program. So this could be very much true for even when you are running the live design shell inside any VLSI EDA tool. So whatever example I have just now given, it can be applicable there also. This is the utility of the source command. This allows the code reuse with localization and limitation. Limitation only you will come to know when we go to package. Before that, I cannot show you any limitation here. And this code is very much localized, that it is staying in a some A/B/C path of some hard disk which is shared in the network, and you have to use that particular path to use that particular code, and this will be one of the limitation. So you are stuck in a particular path and file, so you have to keep a record of that particular file path and everything. So next point is you cannot use the reusable code treated as library. Now what is a library? Where library we have some predefined functions we have some predefined variables. All of these predefined things will be kept in a library and they will be used as needed whenever you need, and a specific way you can call those procedures and etc. However, the methodology I just discussed here, that you split a bigger Tcl file into smaller parts and then you use it, do not give you the feeling of that use this as a library. To use it as a library, we'll use package. Before that, let us see how the source command can be used. I'll take one particular example which I have used in the namespace, and once you see the code, you can recognize that you have seen this particular code in the namespace episode. So let's move on to the next slide. File structure, source example. Now this is very important why I'm speaking. I have split the entire experimental code into two parts. The first one is source example 1.tcl, which contains the code which has to be reused. The next part contains the use of this code and the file I have written, that is source ex2.tcl. Why I am saying this name of these files? Because once I share you the outputs, you will see these names there. So that's why I am pinning all these things into your mind right away in the very beginning, so that you can actually relate when you see the output. So in our working directory, there are two files, one where we have written the code, and in the second tcl file, we have used it. That means the reuse of the code. So we're done with this particular slide. So let's move on. Tcl block to be sourced. Here, this particular pink block will contain the code. We start our code with the hashbang user bin tclsh. We write the procedure of multiplication with two arguments a and b, and we have the return statement as a multiplied result, and we close it. Similarly, we have the subtraction a and b. We have the mathematical expression in this next line, and we close the procedure. Third one is the division. Here we also have two arguments, and this line contains the mathematical description. This is very straightforward, so I am not going to explain this, and I close the bracket. So here there are three tcl procedures. One is multiplication, one is subtraction, another is division. So these three I will be reusing in the next code. I saved this particular file with the name source ex1.tcl. This is just to remind you and emphasize. So this slide we are done. So let's move on. Sourcing the tcl block. Now that particular file I have written already, saved and closed the file. Now I am opening a new file. So here the pink one will contain the code, the black one will contain the output. I begin the code with hashbang user bin tclsh. We get the present working directory. How? With this particular command set, then we name a variable this directory, and we execute the tcl command pwd, and that's how we get the present working directory. Now present directory, whatever this variable, it will contain the full path and it will not contain the relative path, just for your information. We will use the source command, source then dollar this directory slash source ex1.tcl. So this execution of this particular code will expand this directory variable into the full actual physical path, and then it will append the source ex1.tcl at the end. So this is how the tcl code will be able to see the previously defined code. And here next we call the procedures that we have defined in ex1.tcl. We give two arguments 5, 2, and we print the result. Next we give sub, then 5 and 2, and then we print the result. Next we use the division, and with the argument 5 and 2, and we print the result. I hope you can recall this thing. I have already used this same code in the namespace episode. You are already familiar. So let's see the outputs now. First one gives the output 10. Second one gives 5 minus 2, 3. Third one gives 2, that is 5 divided by 2 is 2. You can see that we have defined a particular tcl code and we have used the source command in the next file, and here we reusing the code. That means whatever procedures we have written there, we are using it here. And this is a very pretty simple method of code reuse in tcl, that is source. Now we are done with this particular example. Let's move on. What is package in tcl? Packages are used for creating reusable tcl code library. The example for source command that we have seen is a very pretty simple and straightforward. You can use it in day-to-day use. But in case you are in a very big VLSI company where there are 20 or 30 designers, they are using the tcl code regularly in various projects. So in that case, you need to build a library if you are the one who is doing the tcl coding. So for that purpose, you can use the package definition, because once you do the package right, you can versionize it I'll come to that point. And the packages thing is that once you package it, okay, let's see the benefit rather than speaking ahead. Namespace is used to encapsulate procedures and variables in the defined package. So this is another beauty of the package, that we can use the namespace. I have already created one episode in the namespace, and I'll also provide the link in the description so you can watch that episode. What is namespace and how in Tcl we use the namespace with the examples I have explained already. This namespace is very much useful in localizing procedure and the variables, and once we make a package, the entire thing is encapsulated, and with the help of the namespace the capsule is completely tightened and the code is very much secured, so you can reuse it in a very good fashion. It will not get mixed with any other codes in the existing main block of your Tcl code. So what will happen, that you will retain the sanctity of the code reuse from the package, that is Tcl library. Now next is, the package can be a collection of Tcl scripts, binary library, or a combination of both. So this is a kind of, the binary library is a kind of advanced side. In today's episode we are not going in that direction. We'll stay with simple understandings so that you can use it right away after you see this episode. We are done with the definition of the package, and now let's move on to hands-on example. File structure package example. So in our directory, this is our working directory, we have created 3 files. The first one is package1.tcl, where we have written the code of the package. In the second script, we have written the necessary commands to build this particular package into a library. Third, this is our final code where we are using, that means reusing, our Tcl code that has passed to the build command, and this is how we are reusing the command. So now these 3 files are in our working directory. We'll start with package1.tcl, then we'll move on to package2.tcl, and finally we'll move on to package3.tcl. So let's move on to the next slide. In this particular slide, we will be writing the package, and you will learn how to write a package, what are the necessary commands. In this pink block, the code will be there, and since we are writing the code of a package, we can execute it for to check any kind of error or warnings are coming or not. But however, here we will not get any output as per this particular code. And just to remind you, this is the package1.tcl file which I have just mentioned in the last slide. So the code begins with the user bin pclsh. Next, we register the package name. Here is the command for this package to be defined. First word is package, then provide. Then we give the name of the package, that is mathf. We are defining some mathematical functions. So I have abbreviated it as mathf, and I have given the version number 1.0. So the first field and the second field, these 2 are necessary. The third field, you can choose the name by yourself. Obviously, it would not clash with any pre-existing Tcl library. And at the last, you give the version number. So this is one of the benefit of the Tcl package, that you can have different versions. Once you change in a code or once you upgrade the code, you can change the version. So let's go to the next line. Include the basic Tcl with versions inside the package. So this is another important command, that package require Tcl 8.5. So this is how we call any particular package. So package require means we are calling the existing library Tcl and with the version 8.5. So this is another example we are using. So Tcl 8.5 is the library version, and we are calling the package Tcl. Why we are using this? That this particular package should be compatible to the all procedures and variables whatever are there in Tcl 8.5. So here we create a namespace same as the package name, easy to remember, and we can later use it. We give the namespace eval. You are already familiar with this particular syntax from the namespace episode. In case you have not seen, link is given in the description. So namespace eval, the name is mathf, and we start with a curly bracket. And here we write our procedure, multiplication a, b at the 2 arguments, and we have the mathematical expression here, and we close it. Similar way, we define the subtraction with 2 arguments a and b, corresponding mathematical expression, we close it. Next, we write the division procedure with 2 arguments a and b, and the corresponding mathematical expression and enclose it. And finally, we close the namespace. So you can see this three different procedures we have already used in the source example. So we are using the same. The method we are using here is the package, and we have already displayed the necessary commands to define the package. And here our package is complete. So we have defined the package, and let's move on to the next slide. Build, packaging the package. Now we have saved the first file package1.tcl in our hard disk, and now we have to build this particular package. For that we are writing another file. So in this pink block our code will be there to build the package, and in the black we'll get the output once this is executed. Just to remind you, this file has the name of package2.tcl. So here we have hashbang user bin tclsh as the first line. Then we get the current working directory by using this command set this directory, and then we have the tcl command pwd. So we fetch the present working directory inside the variable this directory. Then we will use package mkindex. This is a tcl command. This will build an index for the automatic loading of the packages. Now this is the command you have to use. So package mkindex, let me bring my mouse. So this is package mkindex. Verbose means whatever we are doing inside this, they will be displayed in the output screen. Then we have its commands, file, then join, then present working directory, and we are writing the file names is a generic pattern. Dot is the present directory, right? And the package is star.tcl. So here we are writing package1.tcl, package2.tcl, package3.tcl. So this will be star will replace this number. So I have written package3.tcl. This line you don't have to do much thing. Only from here to here you will keep it constant. Here only at the last field you will change whatever file name you are giving to your particular package. So this only field you have to change in case of you try it at your end. Rest of the things you can keep from here to here, you can keep it intact and as is. And this is a dot and it's not a mistake. Okay, here let me get the output. So once we execute this particular tcl code in our terminal, what we get, first we get successful sourcing of package 3. Basically this package mkindex, it will read all the files that comes under this particular wildcard expression, and it gives on output. So package is provided where, and it parses the package2.tcl. So next comes, since we have successful sourcing of package1.tcl. So in package2.tcl, I have written here in the slide, I have not shown the package 3, but in case my directory that already contained the package3.tcl, so it scanned all the tcl files, and the most important file is package1.tcl. That's why I have made it with a different color, the green color. You should emphasize here. In package1.tcl our package is written, so whatever the lines are coming next are very important, so watch it carefully. Package provided where math f 1.0. So it has already read the package name and its version. It processed the package that is written in package1.tcl. So we have given this mathf and the version number that it recognized with this particular command package mkindex. In this slide we have done the build. Now as a build will come with a new tcl file. Let's see it. Auto generated file package index.tcl. So here is the file. It is auto generated, so I have just displayed it at once. And also you have to remember this is the auto generated file. That means it is generated by the package mkindex. So what is written here, the tcl package index file version 1.1. This file is generated by package mkindex command and post either with an application starts up by a package unknown script. It invokes the package if needed command. Okay, all these are tcl commands. They can be used. Package related information, so that the package will be loaded automatically in response to package require command. So this is the most important. So package require, whenever we use, and we use the mathf, right, 1.0. So this file will be needed. It creates the junction of our package and the tcl interpreter, that is tclsh. With this script is source, the variable $dir must contain the full path name of this file directory. I'll not do any experiment here because this is auto generated file and you also should not touch here anything. So this is kind of auto generated. It came as the build procedure have been executed, and just for your information, that is FYI kind of purpose, I have displayed this file. No need to change here, no need to do anything here. We will move on to the next slide. Use of the package, that is code reuse. So here first in this slide we'll write the code to reuse the math function package that we have already defined. In the next slide we'll show the output. Remember the file name here is the package3.tcl. First we start our code with the hashbang user bin tclsh. Next, getting the present working directory. You are already familiar, you have seen the example only in this video. To set that this directory and the tcl command pwd. Then autopath, $autopath is a variable is to store a list of directories which contain tickle packages. So this is a very important. This you have to use. So here I am printing the autopath originally before we make any change inside it. And then we use the append autopath and then this directory. So we are appending the present working directory to this system variable of tickle. And after that we also print the modified autopath so that you can see the physical difference what have been modified. And then we use the package require mathf 1.0. When we have to use the tickle package that we have written somewhere else, that is package 1.tickle in this particular example, we have to use package require mathf 1.0. Next we set result mathf : mul then 5.2. If you have seen the namespace episode, you will come across this particular syntax, that is mathf : multiplied. In case you have not seen that episode, link is provided in the description, so go ahead and watch that particular episode. Here we call the multiply function from that package mathf and we give the two arguments 5 and 2. Then we print the result. Similar way we call the subtraction with two arguments and print the result. Similar way we call the division function with two arguments and we print the result. So this is our code. Our code is done. Let's move on to the next slide to see what output we get. Just take a mental snapshot so that you can compare the result. So there are 5 lines will be there. One first original autopath, second modified, third will be multiplied, second then the subtraction, then the division. We are in this next slide where we will see the output of our already written code in last slide. Here comes our output. The original autopath is this and here the modified autopath. So I have marked the difference with the green color that you can easily identify. So presently in this particular tickle test directory which is marked in green, here you can see I am pointing with mouse. In this particular directory I have written the code of this particular tickle, and when I use the append, it got appended in the autopath variable. So all with the pre-existing paths, this particular directory also get appended. Now once this code executes first, that we get the output of the 3 different mathematical functions as is. So this is the code reuse in terms of package. So folks, now you can understand that how the package thing is different from the sourcing. Package thing is a much more systematic way of managing a code and using it in a very systematic way. You have a version, you have a proper namespace. When you use it, it actually calls the variables and procedure from that namespace, and there is no chance of clash or collision with your existing variables in your main namespace where you are writing the code. Keeping all these things in mind, the package thing is a much better way of encapsulating a tickle code and use it as a library. However, for small use, you can use the source. Generally, that is a very widely used practice in VLSI to use the source. However, if it is possible, you can use the package. However, one point to be noted, instead of source, if you are using the package, right, in that case you have to consult which API you have to use to link this package to your VLSI tools interpreter. So here we have used the build command, that is for the TCLSH. However, that is the VLSI design tool, whatever you are using, maybe TNR or something. There you have to know which particular build command you have to use. That will be solely for that particular VLSI tool. This difference only will be there. So you have to be careful that you should not make an assumption that whatever I am doing, the 3 steps here will be exactly same there. It may be same, may not be same. So in that case, you have to consult the respective tool manual and have to be very much confirmed that you are using the right build command. Okay folks, we are done with this particular slide. So let's move on to the next slide. Thank you very much for listening up to this point, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. In case you have some dislikes, put that as in words in the comment section below, and bye for today.